Hello, Yawning Angel here again with another AMOS video, but this one's going to be slightly different. We're not talking about programming hints and tips in this video. No, we're going to be talking about some AMOS code that I wrote over 30 years ago and how I've resurrected it to run it on my current Amiga. So let me explain a bit more about that. So it was a good few months ago, I was rooting around in our loft and I found this folder which contains a mixture of stuff from the 90s and my Amiga days when I used to take pages from magazines, how-to guides and tutorials and learn how to do stuff on my Amiga then. And it was in this folder that I found some source program listings for a program that I'd written, a database program I'd written back in the early 90s. Think about 91. And I thought, wouldn't it be a great idea to get this code back into my current Amiga and run it and see what it does? But the thing is, how would I get this program listing into a digital format back onto the Amiga? Well, I worked out a way, and in this video I'm going to show you how I did it, and also we'll find out at the end of the video, it's worth waiting for, to see if the program actually runs and if it's any good. So let me take you through that process. So the first thing to do was to lay out the pages. So there were 16 pages of printouts in total, so there's 8 here to start with. So just to lay them out on a flat surface, because what I was going to do was use my phone to take pictures of each page and use the optical character recognition technology in the phone to then pick out the text on each page and save that out to a text file. So I had to get all the pages in order because obviously none of them are numbered. So it was just a case of laying them out, getting ready to photograph each page in turn. Right, so here is some footage of me using my phone to take a picture of each of those pages. I want to apologise for the quality of footage. It was taken using a camera with less optical qualities than I'm used to, but I just wanted to show how this was done. Just a case of literally holding the phone over each page, taking a picture with the camera and just working from page to page, going through all 16 pages to get photos of each page into the camera, also into the phone, so I could then use OCR to read the text off of those pages. What you're seeing here is what effectively the phone itself saw. So this is taking a picture of each page, then just reviewing it, punching the OCR button just to make sure that it was picking up the text, and then photographing the next page, checking that, etc, etc. Add, repeat for 16 pages. Long and laborious process, but to be fair, I was really impressed with the OCR technology on the phone. Pulled out the text really nicely, and next I'm going to show you what I did with that text from each one of those photos. With all of the 16 pages photographed, it was then a case of going into each photo, using the OCR button to copy all the text and dumping that into a text editor on the phone. So on my iPhone I'm using a piece of software called IA Writer, and what I could do then was dump the text from the photo into a text file, give it a meaningful name, and then the phone would save it. And what it would do, it would save this to my cloud account, which I would then use later on to pull those text files into my Mac, where I could then fine-tune them. But this was just a simple process. You know, it's a case of look at a photo, use the OCR button, copy the text, then go to IA Writer, dump that text into a new text file, give it a meaningful name. So I was naming the pages in order, saving it, and then just carrying on doing this one page after another. And the process, I must admit, when you got into the routine, was quite slick and worked really well. And the next job after this would be to take those pages and bring them into my Mac and just fine-tune them, because there were problems with the OCR. You know, not all of the characters were recognized, and I knew that I would need to change that later on. So that was the next task. Onwards then to my Mac. Some of you who've got RMC's calendar might recognise that backdrop photo. So what it was now, I could fire up IA Writer on my Mac, and it would obviously bring those files down from my cloud account. And so now I can see those text files. Now I've got them on a desktop computer. I can now review them properly. I've got access to a full keyboard. I can now make changes where changes were needed. Obviously some characters were maybe misinterpreted by the OCR. We had a lot of stars were misinterpreted, dollar signs were misinterpreted to stars, hash symbols were misinterpreted, number 5s were interpreted as S's in some cases. It depended on the quality of the printout. Don't forget, these printouts were from a dot matrix printer back in the day. So I think we've done a really good job here. But it was just a case of going through each file and just making changes where needed. Once again, another long process, but I managed to get through it, and you know, it was a lot of fun. Of course, I was using the original printouts as references as I was reading through each file, just to check, well, that doesn't look right. Is it right on the printout? You're checking each line. I'm going to admit I didn't do every single line on every single page. That would have taken forever, and you'll see the repercussions of that a little bit later on when I bring these files into the Amiga. But you know, this was the best way of doing it. It was one of those things you can do on a lazy Sunday afternoon, just reading through source listings and checking them against the listings on the text file on your screen, and just making those corrections slow and steady, and it did the job. With the text files tidied up now on my Mac, I needed to get them onto the Amiga, so I was going to dump them onto a compact flash card, which I use with my PC MCIA card adapter. So here I am on the desktop, so just finding those files in Finder, just having a quick check of them, and then just copying them across onto a relevant folder on the compact flash card. Really as simple as that. With them on the compact flash card, it's then just a case of dumping that card into the PC MCIA reader and getting them onto the Amiga. Right, here we are in front of the Amiga. So I've got the compact flash card here, and if we go into the folder that has those files on it that I saved off of the Mac, and here it is here. So if I just extend this and open it up a bit, so you can see all the text files are here, but I've also got the hidden files that macOS puts on a storage device as well. A little bit annoying, so just for a little bit of housekeeping, I'm going to sort that out. So if we go into Directory Opus here quickly and just tidy this up a bit before I go any further. So we want to bring up the compact flash card. We've got AMOS projects, into music file, raw scans tidy. Let's just make sure you can see this okay. Let's just adjust the camera slightly. So what I'm going to do in here is to make a directory, call this tidy up, and what we're going to do is just, there might be a quicker way to do this, and if you know it, please let me know in the comments down below, but this is the way I usually do these sort of things. So if I go into tidy up on that side and I select hidden files and just select them, and then we'll do a move, and that should move those across into this tidy up folder which I've just created temporarily. It just gets them out the way and makes things look a bit neater, and you'll see why in a minute, because what I'm going to do is load all of these text files straight into AMOS. Yes, it is possible. I was going to use a text editor and load them into a text editor on the Amiga and copy and paste the text in, but actually you can do it straight into AMOS Pro. So I'm going to show you how I can do that now. So let's go to my AMOS Pro folder.
AMOS Professional.
AMOS Professional. And here we are. Okay, so I know that these files are, they're text files. So what I'm going to do is go to merge ASCII. So then I'm going to go to my devices and I'm going to go to my compact flash card. I'm going to go to my AMOS projects, music file, raw scans, tidy. You notice down here it's got the, it's appending the files with star.asc, and I don't want that. I just want all the files. So here they are. So these are all the music file code files which I saved off of the Mac after tidying them up, and we've got them all in here. So the first one I'm going to choose is 1, so mfcode1.txt. Let's press OK and see the magic happen. And there it is. There it is. There's our file, all the text that we tidied up. There's going to be a few problems in here because I didn't get everything. So I can already see a problem there. That should be a 5 and not an S, but you know, we'll work our way through these. First thing to do is really just to get everything in here. So this is the first text file, and that has come through pretty well. So we've got the first text file in here quite nicely. Now, will we be able to bring the second text file in and have it start where the cursor is here? Will we be able to do, you know, subsequently files 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 16? Well, I believe we can. So now if I go back to merge ASCII and let's get those text files again. So we've got 1 already in here, so now I need 2. So there's 2, and let's click OK. And what I'm hoping for here is that we should see file 2 load at this point. So let's see what happens. Let's see, did that do the trick? Did that do the trick? It's done something. So let me just go back up. So let's see, scroll through, and yes, check for existence of file first. That was it. Then we go to this check file flag. Brilliant. So let's go to the bottom of that. Let's get to the bottom of that, and we are, so it's display error. So that's the end. That's the end of the second one. So let's try and do the third one. Merge ASCII, and let's do. We're looking for number 3 now. Number 3, and OK. So after the display error, there we go. Go to EntLab. Yes, there we have it. Look at that. It's bringing it in. Now, admittedly, we've got a lot of tidying up to do in here. We're going to have to do all the indentation. There will be some problems, maybe with some of the names not properly defined. But because we have the original program code listings, I can cross-reference what's on the screen here against those. So I can already see a problem here. Some weird stuff going on there. But you know, this is not an impossible job. So some stuff has come through a little bit corrupted and some stuff hasn't. But you know what? I'm quite happy with this. We're doing okay. So now I'm not going to bore you to tears with bringing every single one in. So, whoops. So I'm going to speed stuff up a bit. And let's get all of those 16 text files loaded. Right, so we've got all 16 pages in here. All of those 16 text files have now been brought into AMOS Pro using the merge ASCII command. Ideally, I'd like to press F1 and see this program run, but I know that's not going to happen because I've got some problems. So if we look here, I've got some corrupt characters in here. This could have been in the conversion between macOS text and what's coming onto the Amiga, so the character set might be slightly different. There's probably some syntax errors in here as well. Who knows? There could be a number of things. So before I do anything else, the first thing I'm going to do is save this. So let's go save as, and we'll go to my devices, and I've got my AMOS Pro Source folder to hand, and I've got a music file project folder, and we're going to call this let's music underscore file underscore 1.amos. So let's save that, and we have it saved. Brilliant. So now I can now think about what I'm going to do with this. So I'm dying to press F1, so let's see what happens when I do. So F1 to run it. I've got a syntax error. So here we are, this kind of thing where it's put a comma as opposed to an apostrophe. Procedures, what was that? Procedures limits must be alone on a line. So yeah, this kind of thing is obviously missing an underscore. So press F1 again, procedure not closed. Yeah, because I've got an end froc as opposed to an end proc on here. I don't know if you can see that there. So F1, array not dimensioned. Yeah, because this should be a $sign and not a hash. F1 again, undefined procedure. So there's a number of things that are missing that I really need to go through and sort out. So what I'm going to do is get each page from the program listings that I tidied up on the Mac. I'm going to get each one of those printouts and go through line by line if I have to and check to see what's missing and what's wrong. So that is going to be my next task. Right, so I've been through, tidied up the code. Oh, let's turn that sound down a little bit. Been through, tidied up the code, found some interesting bugs. First of all, I just want to apologize for the moire effect on the screen. My screen is fine, but the camera is picking up lots of wavy green and blue lines, so I do apologize for that. So we've tidied up the code, and now is the moment of truth. I'm now going to press F1 to run this, and let's see what it does. Right, are we ready? About to press F1. Have we resurrected this code from the 1990s? Ah, look at that. Look at that. It's actually working. I don't know what DF0 is going to do if I select that because I've got a GoTech in there, but I'm going to select DF1 because I do have an external floppy drive. Name a file to work on, return to this directory. Well, let's see what happens when I press return. Oh, and the drive works because there is a disk in there. That's, wow, look at that. Okay, press any key. Name a file to work on. I don't know, so I'm going to call a file test file. So remember, this program is essentially a database program where you enter the details of music that you have on CD, cassette, LP, etc. And it builds up a database of that. So now I can select options from the menu. So now I'm going to right-click the mouse. Look at that. System menu, file creation, read and amend, search. Oh my goodness, look at this. And I can print stuff out. Sadly, that won't work because I no longer have a printer to attach to my Amiga. But look at that. The menu is there. This is incredible. It works. I am so excited. This is awesome. So essentially, code from 1991, thereabouts, that I wrote, I've managed to take from paper and get back onto my real Amiga now. This is incredible. So let's create a new file, shall we? It says working on test file. Oh my goodness, look at this. Oh, this is awesome. I just need to go and get some music now so I can actually start typing some stuff in. Back in a minute. Okay, I'm back with a CD, so I don't know if the camera will pick this up. There we go, CD. This is Big Audio Dynamite by Big Audio Dynamite, album from '86, if I recall. One of my favourite albums. Right, so let's get this entered. So, artist, Big Audio Dynamite. Title, this is bad. They're on the CBS label. So I'm just reading all this information off the back of the CD case. So the catalogue number is 4622992. Format is CD. Music category, call it pop. No limited edition number. Other notes. I think this is an awesome album. So that is actually written to the floppy drive. I don't know if you might not have heard it, might not have picked up on the microphone, but that has actually written out to the external floppy drive. Now, if I remember correctly, and also by looking through the code, at this point here, if I want to stop, if I now just press return, that should close that file off. It's a bit of disk access going on there. And now I should be able to read and display the entire file. So let's see what happens when I select this menu option. There it is. So that needs a little bit of tidying up. And I know that because the conversion on the OCR lost a lot of the spacing. So I need to correct that. But look at that. We've got a record written to the file and I can read it back. That is amazing. Yeah, really happy with that. Okay, and just to prove that wasn't a fluke, we'll put another CD on the system. So it only seems apt that we put on the Akira soundtrack. So I've got that on CD. So let's see what happens. Now I should be able to go up here, add to existing. Ah, look at this. So artist, various, title, Akira soundtrack, label. That's a very good question. And Demon soundtracks. String too long. Re-enter text. Oh, look at that. Bit of validation. I'll just put Demon on there. Catalog number. Catalog number is DSCD6. DSCD6. Format CD. Music category OST for soundtracks. Not limited. It's an amazing film. And my favourite film of all time. So there you go. So that has now written that to the floppy. Notice we're incrementing the record number here, so this is pretty cool. So now if I just press enter on artist, that does some more disk access, and I should now be able to go and read and display entire file. Yep, there we go. Look at that. It's writing and reading data. This is absolutely amazing. What more could you possibly ask for? So I'm really chuffed with this. Let's see if the search works. So let's try artist. Search to artist to search for various. Look at that. the search works, it's actually picked up that last record. That's incredible. I don't even think I could write this now. So how I wrote this back in the 90s is pretty damn amazing. So, right, read an individual record number to view. Let's try 1. There it is, look at that, it's brought that back. Still got a little bit of a spacing problem here, but you know, that kind of thing can be sorted out. I just need to go through and tinker with some of the code. But you know what? This program's working and I'm pretty damn happy. And that's it for another video. I hope you've really enjoyed this. I enjoyed making it. It was a great voyage of discovery. Getting this program listing into the Amiga and running has been absolutely fantastic. I've been really chuffed. I do have another source listing lurking in that folder, which I might have a go at in the future. But once again, it's just left for me to say thank you ever so much for watching this. If you enjoy what I do, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, do all those great things. And whatever you do, take care of yourselves and keep it retro.